Evander Kane was born into a world where nothing came easy. Vancouver, British Columbia is a hockey town at heart. But for a young black kid growing up with big dreams, the odds were always against him. His parents, Perry and Sherry, did everything to give their son a fighting chance. Early morning rink sessions, expensive gear, and constant support. Perry, a former amateur boxer, instilled toughness in Evander. Sherry taught him focus and respect. From the start, Kane's drive was different. He wanted not just to play, but to dominate. As a teenager, Kane took the junior leagues by storm. In the Western Hockey League, he wasn't just good, he was a star. Scouts circled his games, taking notes every time he touched the puck. By age 16, everyone in Canadian hockey knew his name. He became a symbol for kids who didn't see themselves represented in the NHL. He played for his city, his family, and for every doubter who said he wouldn't make it. In 2009, his dream came true. The Atlanta Thrashers selected him 4th overall in the NHL draft. Kane shook the commissioner's hand, grinning wide. For his family, it was proof that all the sacrifices were worth it. For Atlanta, it was hope. A young, electrifying forward who could change the franchise. From stardom to superstar, Kane didn't waste time making an impact. He scored in his first season, dazzling fans with his explosive skating and fearless attitude. Even when the team struggled, he stood out. Commentators called him electric, a force on the ice with a knack for big moments. The local media adored his confidence, and kids across Atlanta started wearing his jersey. Kane seemed unstoppable. Off the ice, he lived big. Fast cars, designer clothes, and glamorous nights out. Some admired him, others shook their heads, but no one could deny his talent. In a league where so many rookies faded into the background, Kane refused to blend in. But the price of fame is pressure. Kane was young, wealthy, and unprepared for the world beyond hockey. It's easy to lose perspective when everyone tells you you're special. People wanted something from him: endorsements, appearances, even just a selfie at the mall. For a young man barely out of his teens, the spotlight could burn. Signs of trouble. As Kane's star rose, whispers followed. His boldness on the ice sometimes spilled into arrogance off it. Teammates found him difficult, confident to a fault, dismissive of rules, sometimes late to meetings or skipping team events. Coaches tried to rein him in. Friends say he brushed off criticism, believing talent would solve everything. The move from Atlanta to Winnipeg came with new hope, but the old patterns remained. The Canadian market was more intense, with media dissecting every move. Kane was fined for missing practices, called out for posting flashy photos on social media, and became embroiled in rumors of fights with teammates. It was clear there was a divide between Kane and those around him. Still, his talent shone through. He scored clutch goals, electrified crowds, and made highlight reels. But controversy stuck to him and his reputation suffered. The gambling rumors began. Then came the gambling stories. At first, they were brushed off, just a young star having fun. But as the years passed, the rumors grew darker. Friends whispered about nights at the casino, big bets, and even bigger losses. Kane's spending became a concern. Teammates noticed mood swings and absences. A cloud began to form over his career. His private life was unraveling, even as his public persona remained defiant. By the time he was traded to Buffalo and later San Jose, the weight of his debts followed. Lawsuits from casinos began to surface. Kane, who had once laughed off the rumors, now found himself in courtrooms fighting to keep his career and dignity intact. The move to San Jose. The San Jose Sharks hoped to revive Kane's career. For a time, it seemed to work. He rediscovered his scoring touch, helped lead the team deep into the playoffs, and earned a massive 7-year, $49 million contract. In interviews, Kane promised he was turning over a new leaf, ready to leave the past behind. But the past has a way of catching up. More lawsuits landed, casino debts mounted. At home, his marriage fell apart and the couple's private battles became public. Social media was flooded with accusations and counter-accusations, cheating, gambling, missed payments, even allegations of domestic violence, which Kane denied. Every week, the headlines got uglier: personal life in chaos. Kane's private pain spilled into public view. He was sued by multiple casinos for unpaid debts, totaling millions. Creditors called, lawyers threatened, and his financial empire, built on the promise of a long career, crumbled. The tension with his wife escalated, with both using the media to air grievances. For the first time, fans saw not a superstar, but a person in crisis. The NHL launched investigations into his gambling. Then, amid the pandemic, Kane was suspended for submitting a fake vaccination card, a desperate act that shocked even those who'd stuck by him. Teammates began to keep their distance. Coaches stopped defending him. The league seemed to give up. The breaking point? Bankruptcy. In early 2021, the truth crashed down. Kane filed for Chapter 7 bankruptcy, listing over $26 million in debt. He owed money to banks, casinos, even to his own family. For a man who had once signed one of the richest contracts in hockey, it was a stunning fall from grace. The world watched in disbelief. How could a young star with so much lose it all so quickly? Was it bad luck, bad decisions, or something deeper? Sports talk shows debated his case. Psychologists weighed in on addiction. Suddenly, Kane was no longer a hockey hero. He was a cautionary tale, a headline, a warning to every young athlete. Accusations and controversy. The pain kept coming. Kane's ex-wife accused him of betting on his own games, a charge the NHL investigated and found unsubstantiated, but the damage to his reputation was done. The internet exploded with opinions and jokes at his expense. Even his on-ice accomplishments were overshadowed by scandal. Kane, once seen as fearless, looked isolated. He apologized publicly, admitting mistakes, but insisted he wasn't done. The question was, would anyone believe him? This is where the story turns from sad to tragic. With all the warning signs, missed meetings, gambling, public fights, why didn't anyone step in? Did the league, his coaches, or his friends do enough? Or was the machine of pro sports too busy chasing wins to care about the human cost? Many say Kane's ego kept help at bay. Others blame a hockey culture that punishes vulnerability. Some just shrug. Talent gets chances until it runs out. In the end, Kane faced the darkness alone. One last chance, the Oilers gamble. In 2022, the Edmonton Oilers took a chance on Kane, desperate for scoring in the playoffs. Many fans were furious, calling it a mistake. Kane, humbled by bankruptcy and suspension, arrived with something to prove. He played some of his best hockey, scoring crucial goals, and seemed to rediscover his love for the game. His teammates gave cautious praise. Reporters wrote stories about possible redemption. For a moment, it had felt like maybe, just maybe, he could write a new ending, redemption or illusion. But was it real? Kane's debts remained. The lawsuits and scandals hadn't vanished. Every goal, every assist was shadowed by the knowledge that trust, once lost, is rarely regained. The league still viewed him warily. His ex-wife still battled him in court. Sponsors and fans remained divided. For Kane, every game was a fight for reputation, for future contracts, for a place in the league. But the damage was deep. Even his most loyal supporters wondered if he could truly leave the past behind. The cost of fame. Kane's story is about much more than hockey. It's about the hidden cost of fame, the loneliness that comes when your worth is measured only by what you can do, not who you are. It's about addiction, financial ruin, and the pressure to keep up appearances. It's about a league and a culture that celebrates toughness but punishes those who stumble. How many athletes are just one injury, one bad night, one scandal away from losing everything? Kane's fall is a warning to all. Talent is fragile and fame is fleeting. So where does Kane go from here? Is this really the end? Or is there hope? One more shot at respect, at rebuilding trust, at being more than a headline? Can he reconcile with his family, make amends for the pain he's caused, and help the next generation avoid his mistakes? The answer is unclear. Some see Kane as a lost cause, others believe in second chances. Maybe time will heal, maybe not. What's certain is that every day is a new test, and every choice a chance to change. Evander Kane's tragic downfall is a story about the dangers of unchecked ambition, about the pain of losing yourself in the noise, and about the need for compassion. Even for those who fall, his story isn't finished. Every game, every season, every struggle is a new chapter. If you made it to the end, ask yourself, what would you do if you lost everything with the world watching? Would you fight back? Would you give up? Or would you try one more time for redemption? Drop your thoughts in the comments. Because sometimes the most important lessons in sports aren't about winning, but about surviving the fall and finding a way to rise again.